This is video recording. So first off, I could do chord diagrams and I could do touch. Just like get both of these. Definitely more touch shape than this. So just like do the stack. So
I forget how good this guitar looks.
Yeah, so first of the chord shape, so you have 3rd fret and then 3, 3, 3, which you play basically. Let's quickly write a chord diagram on top of it. Thumb on the 3rd fret, T means thumb. And then you have your bar basically your pointy finger and you mute the A string. Because that's already one piece of information. This is a G minor 7 chord. The cool stuff he can do so typically let's call this point number 1. Point number 2, a very typical style is he hits bass notes first, usually downstroke, down, down, and then hits the chord as a downstroke. And then so that takes bass, chord, dum dum dum, and you still have 2 beats and a half of embellishments you can do. Because chicks are 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass, chord, da ba da ba ba da ba, bass, chord. So that gives you a rhythm, a bass rhythm to build from, and then from here, so you could do this, of course. You could do it on these strings or the middle 2 strings. So you could do slide from 3 to 5, or you could do number 4, slide from 3 to 5 on the middle 2 strings. S means slide, by the way, that's a S, not a 5. Of course, you could go ascending, descending. You could look. So I went on the B, the G and the B string first. Of course, you could do the same on the A and the D string as well. Create all these different sounds. So I'm keeping up with the writing pretty well so far. I think you'd be proud of me if you see how I'm trying to really do this as much as fast as I can. So this concludes all the slides really. Well, actually not quite. You could also do this, which is really cool. I'm sliding on the top 2 strings from in this case because of the key we're in, from 6 to 2 frets higher to 8. Again, all the stuff you can do descending, but to save time right, I'm not going to write all the options descending. You have them on video. Plus, I know you already know this stuff. They could always do everything in 2 directions, or up or going down. Then within the same, everything in that key, since we're here anyway, you can also do this. Exactly, ring finger and pinky, 5 and 6 on the G and the B string. Slide up to 7 and 8, 2 frets up and of course down again. Now let me write this with red. That actually equals, so let's do equal sign, this. So number 8 for the record while on video, this is the same like that. The top 2 strings. So this is CF, this is CF also. So when you do this, it's same like doing that. Now they do sound like just kind of different, don't they? This sounds kind of fuller and warmer. This sounds kind of more snappy in your face kind of.
Strings.
It almost exactly the string thickness difference. Right? So everything we're doing so far, except this and that, is in the root position minor pentatonic shape. So when you do this, right? So that's all the root position. Of course, when you do this, we're in the flat 7 shape now. Pentatonic in G minor, right? Because I'm 2 frets down from the roots, that's the flat 7 shape. If I do this, I'm in this position now. I'm on the 1st fret position, right?
That's flat 7. Okay.
Yeah, because 2 frets down from 1 is always a minor 7 interval, also labeled flat 7. The scale shape, of course, we have open strings here, but if I moved up 12 frets, you get That's that scale shape basically. Just like if you played here with half strings. Exactly, yeah. And of course, when you do that, we should say like these notes like we just pointed out there. You're just doing it for
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm trying to watch it there.
You basically you're in the flat 3 shape now, which I'm going to tell you more about like pretty soon. About cool embellishments that he does there all the time. So it's a flat 7 shape. Of course, kind of unfortunate I like started for whatever reason known to me. End up there when I started explaining everything from the G minor positioning. Of course, I could move everything up and explain from A minor, which is kind of all the wacky old piano, slightly easier key for most people. But
G is
the A minor. A minor is all the wacky old piano, right? All makes sense so far? It does, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. So that concludes everything in that position there for whatever it is worth in the flat 3 in the root position shape. That pretty much concludes everything slides.
Okay.
So now let's get back to like what we had before I started recording the video, which is hammer-ons. So again, the framework is like it's so typical for Hendrix. It's actually not just like that. It's like a bass, chord, bass, right? So the hammer-ons you can do will be selected from all the notes of a G minor pentatonic scale. So what's so common to his style is you press down 2 notes with 1 finger. Let's say C and F. The C and F on the A and the D string. Then you hammer your ring finger on the lower of the 2 strings, which in this case is the A string. Now you could do it on the higher of 2 strings also. That's actually less use with him. But you could do that. So it's not like you have to only do it on the lower. 9 out of 10 times when he does it on the lower. So basically, you hit 3, sorry, let me write this. You hit 3rd fret and you hammer on the 5th fret. H means hammer. And then number 10, you could also do it on the higher of the 2 strings. And of course, then number 11, you just do the same on the next 2 strings. On the D and the G string, 3, 3, you would hammer on the 5th fret, or number 12, 3, 3, and you hammer on the higher note of the 2. Again, much lesser use. Usually, he almost always hammers on the lower of the 2. So already have like 13 cool things here. Then 3, 3 on the next 2 strings and hammer 5. There you go. If you hammer on the higher note, you would have to hammer on the 8th fret. Right, I'm doing this right. 6, I might say. 6. There you go. So basically hammering within the pentatonic scale. So quickly go over these options, right, for the video. So it's a little bright for a video also. I hope this don't like be annoying. It's actually with video over here, so I see it right in front of me. So I'm hitting the A and the D string. I'm barring these 2 strings with like a little mini bar. And then I do this. Sorry, or this. So I hit the same 2 strings. So I'm hammering on different one. The next 2 strings will be this, or this. And the next 2 strings will be this, or. And of course, next 2 strings that he hardly ever will does that. If ever, on these strings will be. So that gives you all the options there, basically. So you have slides or hammers. So when you combine that all now and you move over different string sets, you get. Now, all that being said, so everything I said now was with hammers. We could also do pull-offs, of course. Good job, exactly. Yeah. Of course, you could do combination hammer and pull.
Get that wrist around. You gotta get the thumb up there, but then you can kind of do it.
Yeah, exactly. Let me actually stick with the key on N. Like I'm messing up here. It's 6, 3. Then there's cool, like he does a really a lot cool scalar stuff. When you play, so he plays B flat with pinky. Remember, we're staying in the key of G minor for now, right? Yeah, I'm actually starting with B flat. I'm starting with my pinky on my first finger as an example. So it's basically, so I have B flat C D, B flat C D. Just that I get to the D note, I hammer it as a kind of one of these like little mini chords. You really have to call them intervals, really, but that's for sake of argument. Let's call them chords for now. Exactly. All makes sense so far, right?
Yeah.
So the little bass line thing, that's number 15 on the page. Right? So, of course, you could take that further and do, and then just slide right after. Exactly, yeah. So I'm starting to make combinations now. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so all that taking for you, so you could also do all the above hammer stuff with 3 and even 4 with 3 note chords. So how? Well, instead of pressing two strings, I'm hitting 2 strings where you hit 3. So now you have this. So sounds kind of richer because they become chords now. So instead of doing this, I do this. It gets more chordal now. Of course, same with the slides. I'm sliding 3 notes instead of 2. Exactly. So I'm doing, yeah, you could do. Exactly. I'll write this one down. So that's number 17. It's what you just did basically. So it's 5, 6, 6 becomes 7, 8, 8.
That's very Dan Arbach right there. Black keys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The one thing that's really cool, again, let's just for the sake of like communications, let's just stick with that key. So a really cool thing is hitting 5, 5 and sliding to the 6th fret. So you're basically hitting wrong notes as Maro speaking. Exactly, yeah. So you could do that on the G and the B string. You could also do it on the middle 2 strings, on D and G. So that's number 19. Now, one thing Hendrix really likes doing, and that's a stylistic thing you really definitely want to know about, is instead of sliding, I got to make sure I don't mess up here. I'm not messing up. Awesome, cool. Instead of sliding, you press down the G and the B string on the 5th fret.
2-string bend.
And you bend it up a little bit.
You say G and the B?
It's you were just gonna do better. Yeah, so G and the B string 5th fret. It's amazing how many songs he does that in.
That was my jam in high school. 2-string bend.
Can you see me, babe? What the name of that song is? Can you see me, babe?
Right there. Do that. Red House?
The Red House is. Yeah. So no, it's not Red House. can you feel? Is it can you feel or can you see me that he sings? Can you feel me? Na, 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 na. So key of G minor, for example. It's not necessarily that part, it just goes to the C chord. The song goes, I just can't think of the title right now. But he made this something he likes doing. That kind of stuff. So this is tons of options. So up to number, and then up to number 21. So 21 where, so you keep bending, bend, release, bend, release. So number 21 is where you don't only bend, you keep bend, release, and we do. We keep going bass. So that's number 21. Okay, cool. So number 22, next page. This is all. So this page is all from
E shape.
E minor shape bar chord. Let's go from the A shape bar chord now. So this is major.
Do it in C.
A shape bar chord. Sure, actually, yeah. So it's right in between parentheses. So everything I just did was G minor. Good point. Thank you for reminding me, buddy. Let's do key of C now. It should be the key of B flat if you want to stay within everything we've done so far. Because when you play that G minor chord, and then your pointy finger, that's actually the B flat major chord you're playing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So so all this stuff would also work in the key of B flat, in other words, right? But let's continue in the key of C now. So this is the next page. This is embellishment number 22. So exactly. So a little thing now that you want to be aware of, that you want to keep in mind. So when you hit a C chord like that, right? Third fret A shape bar chord, right? Where your ring finger is where you have all the notes of exactly of the C major pentatonic scale, which is the same like an A minor pentatonic scale. Exactly. So an A minor pentatonic scale is also a C major pentatonic scale, which leads to the next huge group of embellishments now that he does all the time. Whenever he plays, for example, like chords that are in the major key from that bar chord, right? He switches back and forth between the chords and then jumping up 2 frets to do all the same embellishments you just did, but in a major key now. So the only reference point that changes is that we're no longer starting from that chord, we're starting from this chord. Now this chord, that bass note can be played there, because this is unison, same note. So you could play from that C chord. So when you hit that C chord, right, you can also play it this way.
Ooh. Oh,
Don't hurt your finger.
I know.
There you go, cool. So this can play like that. So I'll pick write this down for you. So 3, 5, 5, 5 equals, this is just the equal sign, 8, 5, 5, 5. They're the same chord. So you have that and this. It's like 2 different things on the same chord. Right? Awesome, cool. There's actually more minor stuff on the board also. Would you mind if I go back for a quick second first to what we were talking about, the minor ones? Because there's all the cool stuff I'm just thinking about. So I'm just going take a separate page and keep all that separate.
The Indian stationery?
I know. It's stupid, isn't it? It's called this page 1, and it's actually called, let's not give this a number yet. Let 22 is going to be the next thing. Let's call this page 2. We're back to G minor for a second.
Okay.
So you're going to love this stuff because this gets way more intricate sounding now. One thing he loves doing is like taking notes from, besides all the pentatonic stuff, reaching out for more other notes that are in the scale. So in this case being a G minor scale. So when you play a G minor pentatonic scale, right, which is what we're in originally, 10 of course fast, the notes are G, B flat, C, D, F. So one of the notes that's missing is A. So one thing he does quite often is this. This is really cool. You're going to love this stuff. So the notes are missing are A and E. So rather than playing pentatonic stuff, he plays scalar stuff using the same principle we just talked about. He fingers X number of notes simultaneously, but then does scalar stuff like this. Exactly. It's really cool, right? And then E flat. Because remember that G minor has same notes like the B flat major scale, and the key of B flat has 2 flats. So you don't play E note, you'll play E flat. Exactly. So you get this. So when you reach,
so you can play those because they're in the G
minor scale.
Yeah, which I haven't learned yet.
So when you play pentatonic, well, you kind of do know this stuff because you know key cinctures.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same key cincture like a B flat major scale. Why? Because this major scale is that minor scale. So relative scales are 3 flat distances apart. So G minor scale, as an example in this case now, G minor has the same as like a B flat major scale. So you could do this. You could do 3, and then you reach out to the 7th fret from the 8th note. Then you do 5. Then you do 3. Then you could take this further. Then you do this 6, 5. So the thing I just wrote down with tablature number 22, basically page number 2, I labeled it, is you could like hit. So you hit these 3 notes, we add scale notes to it. Yeah, I actually didn't go that far in my writing, by the way. I did that. But you could go further from there. So let's make this 22, 23. So you could take that line further. We walk entirely down the scale. So I'm just labeling this as number 23. So 3, 3, 3, 3, and then you don't necessarily have to keep hitting that many strings. You could like narrow down the focus to like just changing to the next 3 strings or so. So 6, 5, 3. There you go. So you walk down the whole scale basically from an A note to a G note, but hitting them as 2 3-note chords basically. Yeah, so I'm basically. Keep walking down scale, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Now on the last chord, exactly, like you could do that. Ideally, you probably only want to hit 1 G bass, or you will want to mute the note on the A string, which is why I wrote it between parentheses, by the way, here.
Okay.
So because this implies something slightly different with that C note there. So you could just hit only the bass, or you could shift to that fingering, so you don't press down the A string. So of course, this is kind of like, so to speak, in between chords, an extreme example because I'll walk down the whole scale. So you could use all these notes, all that stuff basically in a more kind of like embellishment kind of way, like we covered before I got into like that whole scalar line, which is rather than walking all the way down, you could do this. But you use more in like a hammer-on kind of way. Exactly, you hammer on from the D to the E flat. He does that in Ludwig, by the way. Like, just as upper whole step. Yeah, so it does. Yeah, that is a little ring. Just that it's not on the G minor but on the A minor chord, 2 frets higher. All make sense? So that's more more G minor. So let me stick a little longer with G minor and fast forward to the one thing I want to show you in the flat 3 shape. So it's called as the flat 3 shape. So flat 3 is one of the names of the pentatonic fingerings. It's a shape we have for the root shape, which is basically this one. It's actually like this. So let's stick with G minor. Exactly, so it will be there. Yeah, you got it, yeah. You could play that, but that's a better, easier fingering. Is that so?
Oh. Maybe that or no?
Yeah, so always go for easy. This is not an easy fingering because you're trying to like play everything with weaker fingers. Stronger fingers always get trouble more easily. Exactly.
Gotta practice that shape more.
Yeah, so the better you know all your scale fingerings, the easier it's to like memorize and like cover all these embellishments. Now, all that being said, so because I'm still talking about the minor stuff now, so let's stick with G minor for now. So when you move to the flat 3 shape, this is something he does all the time. And that's like this shape. So remember that when you play the root shape, or let me step back for a quick second and show you. So when you play the root shape, this note and that note gives you this. You flip it around. That's not how you play my pencil scale. That's how you play my pencil. Look, when I play the scale, I keep these fingers there. Do you see it? That these two notes right there are the outer edge of the root shape. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain?
No. How does that outer edge?
Look at my fingers. I'm gonna hit two notes really hard. Did you see it? Do you see that? If you think of the minor pentatonic scale as there's that edge and there's this edge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
This is the outer edge. You could think of these blocks as like containing two walls. There's this wall and then there's the higher wall.
100% I get that. Cause that's how I look at it.
So that's what I meant with outer edge basically. So you have these two notes. So when you play with these two fingers instead of with these two, you're there basically. So now because of where my hand is positioned, I'm in the flat 3 shape now positioning wise. I'm no longer in that shape because I'm over there, I'm out of the previous position basically. Makes sense, right? So one thing he does all the time is, we're still in the key of G minor, is hitting these notes with these two fingers and then hammering there. remember that the flat 3 shape looks like that. So you could hit that note with your pinky. Pretty cool, right? So that's one you definitely want to memorize as well. So we're in 5/6. And then, so taking this a step further now, we're in key of G minor. Remember that in order to make a scale, a 5 note, in order to play a pentatonic scale, you're basically leaving 2 letters out. Right? Remember, in this scale, the one of the letters is A. And A is right there. That means that you could do this now. Good job, yeah. So you get. So that's what we had, right? And now I play these 3 notes. So I'm really playing all pentatonic stuff, but somehow adding notes that is not a pentatonic scale, like the A note in this case. These are all notes of the G minor pentatonic scale. This one's not, but it's part of the 7 note scale. Yeah. So we're in the flat 3 shape now, so let's keep up with the writing. So this is number 24. So 24 is just that. They could do this. They could elaborate further on that. Let's call that 25. Exactly what we do. We add that note. So let's do 5/6 again. Hammer onto 7. So this is a hammer. Then you play the 5/6 again. And then you play, what is that? It's the 8th fret, isn't it? With pinky. You could hit the 8 by itself, or you could hit the 5/6 again. So you could do that, in other words. So I'll let the notes sustain, and then I hit that B flat underneath it. Or you could do this very. You hit all 3 notes at the same time. So either way works. And then from there, so number 26. I need to make sure I can finish everything I want to show you. They could do the same there.
I got next week too, because we play next Friday.
Oh, there you go. So you could do 5, 5, 6, you hit that, and you hammer onto the 7th fret. So that's 26, where we take by itself, and then elaborating further, where we build a line further from there. 5, 5, 5, 6, hammer into 7.
I was like, that's a clean bend right there.
And then this is 8th fret. Of course, then on the side note, we kind of haven't covered that possibility yet. You could also do this. Because these are notes of the G minor pentatonic scale, also the root one. But you do this basically, you press down these 3 notes, like these 3, and hammer onto an E flat. So there's really cool stuff you can do with that actually. You'll play 8, 5, this is the 5th fret? Yeah, 8, 5, 5. I'm actually kind of writing it wrong. I should write everything at the same time. So for the record, for the video, this is number 28. You play these 3 notes at the same time, then these 3 at the same time. So you get that. You play these 3 with pinky there. also get. You could go down further to the 3, of course, to a C. You could play B flat with your pinky on the 6th fret, and then G in the bass if you wanted to be in a key of G. So number 28 is this basically. Last row is basically no C, B flat, G. Of course, you could play around more with this by doing this. Right, so any combination of everything we've done so far comes with really cool stuff. So you got. I'm not doing anything new, and all the stuff I just did has been discussed in like all these possibilities. I'm just mixing them, matching them.
That's what I'm kind of trying to like find little like those.
Yeah, and then from what you just did, right, from this, you could combine with your slide, do the slide there, and now you're in the root position.
This one gets me. I love it.
Of course, you could do like you could do the same on the top 2 strings too. Or you could do like. He actually loves doing that kind of stuff. I'm happy I didn't forget about this. We're still in the flat 3 shape, but the top 2 strings.
And that's something I play all the time. You know, this sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So this one you can also do on the 1st fret. So let's call this number 29. So you press down 6 and you hammer onto 8. Let's call this number 30. You do it on the 1st fret as well. There you go. So 6, hammer onto 8. Or on the 1st fret. Because this is the flat 7 shape, right? Exactly the same thing. Yeah, exactly. So taking this further now, yeah, good job. Exactly. So taking this one further, combining with the stuff we did previously, equal to this. I'm happy on this stuff.
Yeah. No, it was like, oh, I got the first few. I didn't know about this part.
So that gives you enough like minor stuff. Let's go back to the stuff I really want to like get into like earlier. So let's call this 31 now. So the major stuff. So and let's just like you said, key of C.
31.
31 little thingies, yeah. So it's basically everything we just did, but in relationship to this chord instead of that chord chain. So the way he does that, so he strums basically, remember bass chord, is like what he likes doing. So for major, like 9 out of 10 times when he does embellishment stuff, he jumps back and down 2 fret distances. There for the chord, and then up 2 frets for the embellishments. Exactly. So now everything is centered around not this bass note, but around that bass note. Because we do major now, so this is major key stuff. Right? So now instead of, so that means that you don't necessarily have to jump up and down 2 frets here for the chord and there for the embellishments. You could play that note there. No, because you need. You actually can. You can. You can't because like. So it totally works. So now, so you're dealing with either this C chord, which can also play this C chord, or that C chord. Yeah. So he likes playing the bass with his thumb on E major shapes. So now we're in the major key. Now interesting, it's all the same embellishments we just covered for minor. Just that you think of them differently because your root is in a different location. It's no longer, in this case, it will be A or C. A, because we moved everything up 2 frets now because we went in the key of C. But we was in the key before in the key of B flat or G minor. Now in the key of C or A minor, right? So for major, we start moving everything up. Of course, still the same key, but you prefer C. So remember this embellishment that we had? Right? So because we're up a whole step now, we will be here, right? Because we're only in the key of B and key of C. So now
Too far.
Because we're in the flat 3 shape, right? Just in the key of C now. Right? So instead of seeing in relationship to this minor, you see it in relationship to that major, because we're in the major key now. So this chord, the E shape bar chord on the 8th fret in this case, because we're in the key of C. And the embellishments we had like in number 25, 26, 24. These embellishments are going to move up a whole step now because they're no longer in the key of B flat and G minor, but in the key of C and A minor as examples now. That makes sense, right? That means that in relationship to your chord, is playing everything from a C perspective now. C chord. The flat 3 thingy stuff now is in relationship to that C chord right there. Exactly, good job. So.
Really should have brought my strap.
So I'm doing exactly the same stuff. Just that it's in relationship to the major chord now instead of in relationship to the minor chord. Does all make sense? So, but one of the things he does a lot is that, again, staying in C now, is that, like there's a C chord. Like that. So, it's a little different in that regard that there's more sideways jumping. It's no longer bass. Because this will be in minor, which is what we discussed on the previous 2 pages, where the bass is here now, we're in major. And the philosophy behind this is that when you play that A-shaped bar chord, that A shape is basically part of your pentatonic scale.
Yep.
It's what I like calling the first wall. If you think of it as a shape as 2 walls, there's that wall and then there's this wall. Oh yeah, I'll write it down for you. When you hit all the notes of the root shape, but the higher notes in that shape all together, you're playing a C6-9 chord.
Never thought of that as a chord.
Oh yeah, any group of combinations in the scale is a chord. 8, 7, 7, 8, 8. Called C6-9. Actually, Steve Ray Vaughan used that chord in his solo. I know you've heard this before, if you're like familiar with Steve Ray, which I know you are. Right, that's this chord. Just he doesn't play in that key, he plays in the key of E, I think. So songs in the key of A actually.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I never could play it.
Stevie, yeah.
It takes too much cocaine.
So that shape, it's taken from this whole like pentatonic scale basically. It's a twitches and fits. And then when you want to add the bass, you could play with your thumb, or you could just play like this. Now, I'm showing as photo for it. We could also do all 6 strings, so that's a little hard to pull off physically, but we could press that. This is just a third of chord, that's the E note, C chord. So C69 chord is the name of that shape. Quite heavily used by producing jazz bands. And then there's one more thing. So there you go. So that's another thing you know. On the F chord, which he plays that embellishment in The Wind Cries Mary. This is an embellishment he really likes using also.
Ooh, I need a Wind Cries Mary.
On the F chord, so which is that hitting open G string and hammering into the chord. So it's basically 1, 3, 0, 1. I hammer into the 2nd fret. So it's an F chord. Sorry.
So all the street lights.
Yeah. Well, of course, can't. So pull that all into use now for one more quick minute before I let you go.
Yeah.
Right? So in that song it goes from C to B flat.
No, it goes from C.
Later in the song actually.
Oh, is that later?
Like in like the 3rd verse or so. To B flat to F. That's 3 chords. There's that of course then. Right. So but the thing I want to get to, putting everything we talked about into application is this. It does that. So what is that? It's the B flat major chord. So you quickly jump up to fret through all like the minor pentatonic embellishment stuff.
Yep.
Then you hit the chord and then you can do. Then of course this is stuff I think you already know this. Anytime you have the E shape major or minor chord, your pinky can go there and there and there. So let's add this to a minor. So say you have a minor chord, so 3, 5, 5, 3, 3. You could do 3, 5, 5. So you couldn't actually bear off, right? His pinky could go here, there, or there. Then here for major chords. So when you have, let's say a C major chord, so you have, so this is a C chord, 8, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8, right? Just a regular C chord. So on that chord, you could do this. You could always do that embellishment. Actually, if you knew that, it's cool stuff. So you could look. That's what he does like later, so he does with pinky added on the high E string. And it's the full like C chord basically. And that's but now he plays the bass. And the way you will do that, you will mute, now you actually mute the D string.
yeah.
So he plays this shape basically, right? It's just regular C chord, play as an E shape with bar, but the thumb takes a little E string note, and then he just like gets rid of the pinky so he can pull on the high. So he uses D string because of that, because the finger he like got rid of was the finger on the D string. These are ninth chords. Of course, you could also like get rid of your again. Exactly. So exactly. So pinky could go pinky on. This is his 10th fret, isn't it? 10, 10, 10. So here's how I wrote this. So on the C major chord 8, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8, the C chord, you could add pinky on the 10th fret, 10th fret, 10th fret on these three strings. And then you could do the same with the G minor chord. You could put your pinky on the E minor shapes on 5, 5, on like the same fret basically. So it works on major and minor. So here's a C major chord. Here's a C minor chord. There you go. And that pretty much sums up everything Hendrix embellishments.
All of them? Alright. I mean, there's only 35.
Pretty much everything.
Better 3-hole punch those for me.
Oh yeah. It's more than 35. Because I have this one, that's already 3 different ones, that's 3 more. That's like, yeah.
Where did you get all this from?
40 embellishments. Curtis Mayfield. He's a really amazing guitar player who he learned a lot of these like little tricks from Curtis, basically.
So you know.
Yeah. I mean, when you listen to Superfly, all these little kind of like chord embellishments. Superfly, granted, was recorded after Hendrix, but Curtis already had been playing many, many years before he released Superfly. I was already doing all these things.
Were they like friends or something, or just listening to them?
Well, like you know how this right musicians, so you learn from each other. You listen to albums. Like, cool, what's that? That's a cool thing. I just heard on this album. How's he doing that? You try to figure it out. Like, cool.
This is cool.
Nice. This is awesome. I like this. I'm going to use it in my own playing.
Oh, I'm going to use all of that. That chord comping, I don't know what you call that, what he's doing. I like it.
It's a very pianistic approach because that's what piano players do. They hit a chord and then they move out notes with the main thing in the chord. So it's a pianistic approach to.
Ooh, can I do Wednesday next week as well?
Yeah.
I might be able to do. What times do you have available on Wednesday? And it's just this week and next week.
I could you do it earlier?
Depends on how early.
Like anything works for this. Like totally up to you. So I have David again next week. I still need to do some of my scheduling calls for this week. I haven't gone to yet. So David's going to be. This is 6. This is 7 and 8 next week for David.
I can do like 6.
I'm booked at 6.
I don't think I could do 5. 7.
Cool.
You booked at 7.
I am, yeah. So let's do 8 again.
8 again.
Copy.
Wednesday, June 6th, right? That's what we're looking at?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same for this event only. Perfect. Okay.
There you go, but
Thanks, pal.
that was intense. That's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
No, that's a good one. That's going to...